Ooh. Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever applies to you. Welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Julia. I'm a contemporary singing specialist based in Australia, and today I'm going to react to 15-year-old Russian singer Diana Ankudinova, which, if I said that wrong, blame Google Translate. It's the only Russian resource I have. Anyway, let's get into it.
Save me, but you. It's strange what desire will make foolish people do. I never dreamed that I need somebody like you.
Okay, I think she's the youngest contralto I've ever heard. The notes that she's singing, they don't sound so low to be out of the spectrum of a contemporary female singer, but it's unusual for female singers to be comfortable down there. Her voice kind of reminds me of Cher in that way, because Cher is also a contralto. Class. So it sounds like there's something in her throat that she's singing around. The setup for the sound, it sounds a little bit covered. It sounds like her tongue is quite high in the back of her mouth, which means it's almost covering the sound a little bit. It's not quite the same as tongue root tension, where the tongue is like pushing down on the larynx to create a low sound. The low notes don't sound like they're being crushed, if that makes sense. Is it unique to have this coming from a 15-year-old girl? Yeah, of course. That's why I said she's the youngest contralto that I have ever heard in my entire life. But I can hear almost like there's a little bit of, you know how when you get sick and you're starting to recover, there's still almost like a film to your voice, and every now and again if you speak, it's almost like the sound reflects off that film and your voice sounds a little bit different. I think there might be something like that happening with her voice in this particular performance, because when she goes for her high notes, I can hear that there's aspiration, but some of it also sounds like there's a tiny bit of noise. So maybe she'd been sick recently. I don't think that this is from an electronic effect. I can hear that there's some reverb that's being added to the sound, but reverb won't manipulate the sound quality to that degree. Reverb is very, very common in contemporary singing, but I don't hear that in her performance so far. It doesn't sound electronically modified. It sounds as if she's got a lowered larynx. She's a natural contralto. There's something in her throat that she's singing around, which is changing the sound quality just ever so slightly. High tongue at the back, and it's really beautiful. It is reminding me of Cher quite a bit.
What we get to play to make me feel this way. What we getting to do to let me dream of you.
So for example, if you can hear the darkness in her sound, then it's really hard to fake that kind of connectivity with the vocal folds if that's a part of your voice that's very uncomfortable. It's not a false sound. No pushing on those low notes. There's resonance, but she's moving through it quite comfortably. little yodel at the end there. That was
and no one could save me but you.
Wow. What a little performer you've got there. Kudos, Russia. She's cool. Okay, so overall, my thoughts on that voice. I get pretty gung-ho about vocal manipulations when it comes to young singers, but I'm not hearing as much of that in there. It doesn't sound like she's straining her larynx. I can hear good fold closure. I think the most unexpected thing is where she's sitting comfortably in her sound. That's why at the beginning I was like, oh, youngest contralto I've ever heard, because you wouldn't find the kind of depth and clarity of tone down in that part of the range from someone who is a soprano. They could work very hard for it, but it's not going to come as naturally and it's not going to feel as comfortable as, say, someone who has her voice type. I would love to see her doing songs that perhaps require a little bit more finesse to the sound. This one suits her so well. It's very haunting. It's almost an Evanescence vibe that I'm getting from her. Overall, I think as a performer, she's got a lot of potential there. You can see her connecting with her lyric, connecting with her audience in front of her. These are your basic foundational skills as a performer, to connect with your audience, have the confidence in yourself to be able to broadcast either your talent or what you've been working on to the people in front of you. And for 15, she's doing that quite well. I just make sure that there's some versatility to the repertoire, developing those performance skills, because as I said before, she's got a lot of potential there. That's really cool. Her English pronunciation is quite good, actually, if Russian is her mother tongue. There are little areas there where the accent crept in, but not so much that I couldn't understand it. As an English speaker, I could still understand every word that she sang. I mean, it also helps that I know the Chris Isaak song, but yeah, what a haunting performance. If you have any recommendations for other songs from her, send them my way so I can have a little listen. I mean, I guess I could also check that out on my own, but at the same time, if I could turn into a react for you guys, maybe we can delve into the voice of Diana a little bit more. Still 15, well done. That's amazing. So that is it from me today, guys. I hope that you enjoyed that. If you did, hit that like, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell beside it. As usual, I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're staying healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye.
What we